with a pair of scissors, and the two ladies jump out fully intact and unharmed. Then they fill the wolf's stomach with heavy stones. When the wolf tries to get up, he collapses, dies, and is then skinned by the huntsman. Disney's 1959 film Sleeping Beauty is about a princess who is persecuted by an evil sorceress. She pricks her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and is cursed to stay asleep for eternity. In the end, a prince wakes her with a kiss, and they live happily ever after. But that story pales in comparison to a much earlier version by Giambattista Basile, entitled Sun, Moon, and Talia. In this version, instead of pricking her finger on a spinning wheel, Talia gets a splinter of flax stuck underneath her fingernail and falls into an enchanted sleep. A king that is hunting nearby unsuccessfully tries to wake her up. He takes this opportunity to rape her. He flees the scene, and 9 months later she bears 2 children, all while still asleep. One of the infants tries to get milk from her nipple, but instead sucks the flax from her finger. With the flax removed, the spell is broken, and the princess wakes up. The king returns with the intentions of raping her again, but instead finds her awake. They fall in love. When his jealous wife, the queen, secretly kidnaps Talia and her children, she tries to kill and eat the babies. The queen makes Talia strip naked before she is carried to be burned alive. The king arrives just in time to intervene, and then has the jealous queen burned at the stake. European folktale Cinderella is the story of a young maiden who is enslaved and tormented by her stepmother and evil sisters. While this is going on, a prince invites all of the eligible women of his province to a royal ball, where he then meets Cinderella. She vanishes into the night, leaving only a glass slipper behind. The prince tries the slipper on all of the women in the kingdom until he finds her. From the early 1800s, the William and Jacob Grimm adaptation of this story, entitled Aschenputtel, is bloody, cruel, and disturbing. In one part of the tale, Cinderella grows a full-size hazel tree over the grave of her. As the story goes, the Little Mermaid wanted to be with a prince that she saved from drowning. She meets with a sea witch to acquire a potion that will turn her into a human. The sorceress warns that every step she takes on land will feel like walking on sharp blades, slicing into her feet. She will also have to give up speaking. In addition to all of this, if the prince marries another woman, the Little Mermaid will turn into sea foam and cease to exist. The Little Mermaid agrees to the terms, and the sea witch abruptly cuts out her tongue, leaving a bloody stump. On land, the Little Mermaid charms the prince by dancing, the whole while enduring excruciating pain at every step. The prince deems the relationship between them as strictly platonic and plans to marry another woman. Heartbroken and fearful of death, she seeks the help of her sisters. They receive an enchanted blade from the same sea witch. If the Little Mermaid uses it to kill the prince and spills his blood on her feet, she will become a mermaid again. Unable to go through with the murder, she throws herself into the sea and becomes a ghostly spirit that roams the earth for 300 years. Snow White is an old German fairy tale that was first published by William and Jacob Grimm in 1812. It's really a story of murder, torture, and pedophilia. In the earliest version, Snow White is remarkably only about 7 to 10 years old during the entire span of events. Her own mother, not stepmother, tries to kill her 4 times out of jealousy of her daughter's beauty. In her first act of murder, she orders a huntsman to dispose of her body in the woods and bring back the liver and lungs as proof. She plans on cannibalizing her own 7-year-old daughter.